Invesco as traders, in your opinion, do the fundamentals drive the technicals? Do you guys constantly keep up with the BLS reports?
I mean,
We're gonna say, well, for sure, of course. When it comes to like down to the fundamentals, like the markets don't move just randomly because
Correct.
prices are gonna go up, prices are gonna go down. Like
It's
interest
fundamental
rates, inflation, all of these different things, all these different variables and factors, and also order flow as well will determine the direction of the market. So especially if you're a longer term trader, you trade essentially a swing trade, position trade, whatever you're doing that's a longer term, you need to be in tune with the fundamentals and what's going on in the economy and in the world overall to understand better how you can execute on your trading system. But if you're someone who's a little bit more shorter term, then I would probably just be more aware of when this type of data is actually going to come out so you can make the decision like, hey, you know what, the data came out lower than expected, I may be actually looking to buy, or the data came out higher than expected, I may actually be looking to sell, and then use that fundamental bias to then go in alliance with your technical bias.
Yep.
All right. We got Professor Icy, or Professor Icy. Fresh, the type of guy to say that was excellent after busting.
No, he said this is excellent.
What the hell? Who says that? Let's see, bot. Anyone else really craving Cinnamon Toast Crunch right now? Okay.
That's random.
That's a random cereal. Is it possible to trade part-time, or do you have to go all in and learning trading full-time?
Nah,
question.
Part-time is where you start. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like eventually it'll come to a point that like you know that it's like if you put a little bit more effort, you can make a lot more money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I feel like it's very, very important to actually, put a little bit of time in just to even get a passion for it first, and then eventually start to get a bit more into it. And if you start to make more money when trading part-time, eventually it'll come to a point that you want to dedicate that full-time each and every single day to actually trade.
Because you started, you were doing Target.
I was trading.
While trading.
I was trading while I was at Target. So
There you
I
go.
was technically part-time. You know what I'm saying? Eventually it came to a point that like, I was like, yo, listen, like,
It's not worth it.
I'm in between the aisles and everything, like on my phone, just checking my charts real quick and that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it came to a point that like I'm missing positions and losing trades because I'm at work. You know what I'm saying? I'm around the manager and that kind of shit. So it comes to a point that like, when your business or like your passion needs you more than your job, then that's when it's time to leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bam. There you go. Let's see here. And this is an excellent side hustle to learn on the side, guys, because it doesn't take that much time. If you got a full-time job, you can kind of get in with,
You don't
dip your
need
feet in, learn.
a credit score. You don't need to have any major, like, I want to say things.
Listen,
Start.
I've had students that were pretty much felons and pretty much like all kind of crazy ass backgrounds, and it doesn't
Can't
matter.
get a job, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't check backgrounds and that kind of. You know what I'm saying? Like, all you gotta do is pretty much do is dedicate time to the craft and then apply it. Like, you don't have to do a background anything, which is cool because it doesn't discriminate from any single person, which is cool.
Wow.
So it's beneficial for every single person all around the world. Race,
Black, white, Asian.
it doesn't matter. Height, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's there. It's open.
No
for
systemic
everybody.
racism
at all.
for all you
everybody.
crybabies. Do you guys day trade, swing trade, or a combination of both? Also, what precautions do you take during big news events like CPI and FOMC announcements?
Kind of covered it earlier, but
Well, so like I'm mainly an intraday trader, which means that I'm only in trades for a couple hours at times, on average. Swing trades, like I only swing trade if I have the ability to hold a certain trade for a certain amount of time.
Can you tell us the difference between a day trader and a swing trader?
A swing trader hold trades for at times like weeks and that kind of stuff.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
wow,
Like, so
okay.
they're a longer term trader. A day trader, day trader. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
okay.
within that day.
They're in and out within 24 hours.
Correct. On average,
Majority of the time.
The precautions for like big news events and that kind of stuff, I would normally just scale down like, my lot size. So like the lot size that I would normally use throughout like my normal days, I would just scale down a little bit. So if I do lose, I'm not losing a ton of money.
Right.
So if I go in progression, scalpers minutes, day traders
No,
for
no.
20.
Intraday,
Okay, so it goes scalper minutes.
yeah,
Intraday, is a few
And
hours
then
maybe.
few hours and that kind of
Okay.
stuff.
Then you got the swing
Day
trader,
trader.
who's
And
in
then-
there for maybe the business day
Correct.
when the market's open,
Yeah.
and then you got the swing trader
Swing
who's in
trader.
there for could be in there for days or weeks,
Yeah,
Days or
basically.
weeks, and then a position trader, which is probably
even
So what
longer
you're doing
term.
basically.
6 months, the type of shit. Like,
Oh shit! Okay,
They don't really care like what happens in between. Like they care about the end goal in like about 5 or 6 months.
It's just
or
a
so.
long-term
gotcha.
investment.
Super long term.
And then after that, your long-term traders that are holding for years.
Years and that. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Buying
yeah.
and that basically you're buying and holding at that point.
Correct,
So those
correct.
are what
Yeah,
4,
either
5, 6
stocks,
levels.
index funds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a bunch
yeah,
of stuff.
to a degree. But I mean, like, most day traders could scalp and can also swing trade. It just depends if the opportunity's
Correct, yeah.
present or not.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
But on average, like our main things is probably I would say intraday is like our go-to because like a nice balance
Yeah.
between everything, you know.
Gotcha.
Because it's pretty cool. You could actually wake up like early, trade, and enjoy your day after.
It seems to me.
the biggest thing is also like a swing trader doesn't really care about the 1 minute chart or the 5 minute chart or the 50-minute chart because it's so minuscule. Compared to a scalper, they're only on like the 1 minute or the 5 minute chart. Like they're on smaller time frames. So I feel like it's more time frame based than anything else, which means that like a position trader is probably on like the weekly or the daily time frame. Like
Which one takes the most skill?
Um,
Because I'm assuming if
I
you
would-
could scalp,
all
you could
take-
I'll
probably.
say intraday takes a lot of. All right, so
Okay.
put it this way: a person that knows only how to swing, they are terrible at entries. A person that is only knows how to scalp, they don't know how to hold positions for a long period of time.
Gotcha.
An intraday trader is kind of like a nice balance in between the two. The entries are good, but also they know how to maintain a position for a long period of time. It could be hours, it could be days, but they know how to pretty much hold an order and maintain it for a certain amount of time.
You're able to utilize skill sets from both angles that make you successful.
A nice balance, like a very, very dynamic trade at that point. But if a person actually knows how to maintain a trade even beyond like a couple of days and that kind of stuff, then it turns into a swing trade. So like I feel like the overall goal for me, at least at times, like I enter on like a scalp type of setup. I maintain on an intraday type of setup, and then pretty much if I can maintain that trade for a certain amount of time, it turns into a swing trade at that point.
Damn.
Which can stay for like a week or so, which happens every now and again. But at the same time, like I try to be optimistic with trying to actually hold a trade. But there's certain times that like
What's the longest you've stayed in a trade?
probably like a week and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, week
That's
and
a
a
good
half.
breakdown, though.
But yeah, but
How you broke it down.
and that was on like probably like a UJ like a long time ago actually.
Okay.
Because I'm so satisfied with the money that I'm making now on the asset that I trade now, which is US 30s, that I don't need to hold a trade for a week and a half
So
at
you're,
times.
you're,
you know?
com- you're comfortable in your trades, basically. Like
I'm more than great. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm more than great. It's not like I'm struggling in any kind of way with like my trades that I'm taking. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I noticed between the two of you, whenever you guys are in a trade, you're aggressively watching the charts, you're
Yeah.
on your phone, you're on it, right? Would it be fair to say that you're trying to close that trade as soon as possible so that you can kind of just chill and relax? Is that
No, it's just certain times that like shit happens, bro.
like holding it for more than a few days might be
like,
too stressful?
The thing is, you want to try and let your winners run as long as possible while also mitigating as much risk as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're risking on a position $20,000 and you're up 60, you don't want to break even on that trade.
3 to
But
1. That's
also,
cool.
you want to try and let your winner run for as long as possible to potentially make more. So it's literally all about trade management. So when it comes to like the skill and asking, which trader is most skillful, I would say it's not really the type of trader, if you're a day trader, swing trader, scalper, but it's how you manage your
manage it,
position in the long
how you
run and
maintain
what
that.
your risk management looks like.
Good look, like you always have like your starting, right? You have your risk, but then you have your highest profit, and then you have your settling profit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like there's times that like let's say if you're up $100,000.
Yeah.
But then you settle at like 60K. That's still cool. But you had your highest point, and then you have the point that like, you know what? All right, this is enough. I'm taking it out. You know what I'm saying? So like it's always like the highest point and like the settle profit also, which is very important.
Gotcha. Because in my head I'm thinking like, all right, you can stay in this trade longer, but is it worth the stress of you're already up,
Correct.
a couple
Correct.
of 10, 20, 30, 40. Is it worth sitting in there and watching the charts like a
Exactly.
hawk, not being able to be attentive to other things?
And the best feeling is pressing close and call it a day.
Yeah.
It's the best feeling. I
I'm
promise
sure you guys have done that plenty of times. It's like,
I mean,
good.
yeah,
Nah,
yeah, no,
nah,
but it feels so good knowing that, you know what, I could press X and start my day.
Yeah.
I'm stress free at that point. It feels amazing, honestly.
I mean,
It
imagine
is, it
waking
is.
up making 100K in the morning. You can feel great rest of the day.
Hold on, wait.
Yeah.
Somebody
Go
said
golfing?
trail stops on and have no TP. Personally, I don't like trailing stops because it's premature at times. A trailing stop is pretty much like a stop loss that like tracks as you're going in profit. It tracks behind the order for a certain amount of points. So if the market starts to pull back, the trailing stop stops. But so
And it liquidates
it can
your
stop
position.
you out and then keep on going. Me personally, I'm open to fluctuation, and if I'm actually
So
gonna
if
be
stop loss moves alongside your profits?
that's a trailing stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
But you don't have to. Me personally, like I stopped doing that maybe like about 6 years ago. Like I commit to closing. Like if I'm gonna close my orders, I'm closing everything. F that. Like I'm gonna either take like my setup profit or I'm gonna try to hold that shit out a little bit longer. Trailing stops, me personally, like it's a premature stop. Like it doesn't make sense to me.
So when it comes to trading, like there's pros and cons in everything that you do, and you usually have to weigh out those pros and those cons when it comes to trading.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right. Different world, man. Very
Yo,
different world.
I will say this, though.
As a buy and hold real estate guy, this is completely
Once
Yeah,
again,
no, it's
territory
very, very
thing.
different. It's very just like
foreign.
yeah.
Absolutely. But it's
one
great,
quick-
though. I'm learning.
Yeah.
once again,
It is what it is.
imagine waking up, couple hours, 4 or 5 hours, make 100K. nigga, I'm gonna be ecstatic.
Hold on, I'm literally
go
writing this down.
golfing.
So you go from scalper, which is
everything.
minutes, to intra.
It's
right?
different though, because I mean, like some days are different. Some
Intra,
days you
and
can
then
make
swing.
100K.
Yeah,
some
some
days you
days
can only
less.
make 10. Some days you
And
may
then you can
lose
say a
money.
position
Some days
trader
you may break
is the
even.
longest.
Yeah.
Was that
You know,
position?
but it's all
position,
like
and that's for a
plan the
few
risk
months, right?
is
Yeah.
what's more important.
And it's all, and then right, it's
And then
time
long
frame
term hold
based.
at that point. Buy and hold is after that, which is where I am pretty much.
Yeah, just years
hold.
and that kind of stuff, like until you retire or some shit. I don't know.
Okay.
But the times where I'm scaling in pretty heavily and trading heavily are the most stressful ones. Like for
Right.
me, the easy days are when I'm having
One
like an
position.
average risk.
Yeah.
Like
Like
I'm risking
10K a
10,000 to
day.
make 20. You know,
Okay.
that's those to me are like the non-stressful days.
Mm.
You know,
Okay.
versus when I'm like super locked in. You know, I'm risking like 30, 40 to try and make 100, 150, 160. Those are like
More stressful.
the days I'm more locked in.
So this is big. So for the audience, real quick, just to recap. So a scalper, you're in for a few minutes. Intra, you're in for a few hours. Swing, you're in for a day. Position, you're in for days and/or weeks, and then after that, you got buy and hold.
Correct. Yeah.
So
those, yeah.
that's
super long
different
term.
levels.
super
So
long term, yeah.
basically, just to have a more realistic approach, 100K days are not that viable. It just depends on the person, and making lure is probably better.
I mean, it depends on how much capital you have in your trading account. It also depends on how much you're risking as well. Because like you can make 100K, and you could do it back to back. I've done it there as well, but like my stress levels were a lot higher.
Got it.
Versus because again, like your
money
relationship
line.
with money changes. If you're someone who, $20,000 is maybe not significant to you, it's going to be a lot easier for you to trade. You're not going to really feel bad if you take a $20,000 loss
Yeah.
versus you take a $250,000 loss.
Oh yeah,
you
it's
know?
huge.
It's a big difference.
You get used to seeing like that kind of money
Fluctuation.
fluctuate at that point, you know.
Yeah.
So like when you see it over and over and over again, like you're not going to be too like open
Yeah,
to
but
just
Again, like
closing out.
there's levels. Like when you first start trading, you see a few $100s in fluctuation in P&L, and then you get stopped out for $500. If that's your normal, then that's your normal.
Yeah.
When you have a stop loss, it's like, okay, you know what? It's part of the job.
Correct.
Versus like when you go from like risking $500 a trade to then doubling or tripling, now you're risking like $2,000 a trade, and that first stop loss gets hit at $2,000. You're gonna be like, damn, bro, that it kind of hurts.
Gotcha.
Like
Okay.
back in the day, like that kind of like $100 loss was like hurting. Like, god damn, bro, I fucked up,
Yeah.
But I think like over time with experience and like getting capital and everything else, like you just kind of become numb to seeing red at
Yeah.
times, and then it is what it is.
Yeah,
open
you
to the risk.
normalize it.
And guys, just to recap, there's no after hours today because we're gonna focus on moving the studio. So no girls for today. Money Monday.
Yeah.
Money Monday.
What else we got here? I went full time for 4 months and I realized I jumped in too fast without my business cash flowing enough. Took the risk, it failed, and now I have 15K less than what I
Had 8 months ago, unfortunately.
just feeling shitty at this point. See you at the top, FNF. Shout out to you, bro.
Yeah, we've all had our days, bro, our months.
Yeah, it happens, man.
Yeah.
What else? Derek the Trader. What percentage of your trading capital do you risk per trade, and how do you calculate your percentage stop loss?
So with me, like I don't really go based on percentages. I go based on straight money, which means that like if I start off with $100,000, on average I'm open to risking like 5K or 10K on average, and until I get up to a certain point, like let's say if I now grow the account up to like let's say like 150, now I'm open to losing like around 30K, 40K at times. But this is me. That's how
Just
I
numbers.
work.
Okay.
And I don't really go based on percentages because I feel like people that actually go just on percentages, like only risking 1% and that kind of stuff, I feel like you're not really in the game to actually make money at that point.
Mm.
Because only risk 1% of everything is you're not
crazy.
really. Yeah, it's kind of like it's light. It's too light to the point that you can't really expect to make a big gain off of that right there.
So you have to be
That's
willing
just
to
me.
lose.
Huh?
If you want to win big, you have to be willing to lose big.
Yeah, like I'm.
It's
so
it's
like I'm
situational
open.
to the
Yeah.
individual,
Yeah.
But like realistically, you put $25,000 in a trading account, you're only risking 1%. You shouldn't have the expectations to try and double your trading account within
But they
the same
do.
few weeks.
But they
which
do.
is crazy.
Which is crazy, but
Damn.
yeah,
It's all subjective to the individual.
correct. But I say definitely be like if you're good at what you do, then why are you only risking 1% of that? Then
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
that's what it comes down to. Like if you're so good and you're so confident at what you do, then why are you only risking 1%?
For me, it's different day by day. For me, it's subjective to the type of position that I'm taking. If I have a setup and it's a really high probability setup, then that's a setup I'm going to put way more money behind. I
correct.
might be risking, 5, 6, 7% at times, but again, I'm okay with taking that risk. I know if my stop loss does get hit for that 7% gain, I know the risks I was involved when taking that position, but at the same time, I'm risking maybe 7% or even 10% at times to try and make 20, 30, 40%. It depends. I don't want to say that's like a day by day thing, but
No,
it's subjective to the type of position that I'm taking and the market conditions
all
as
those
well.
people that I know that actually risk 5 and 10%, they are the ones that made the money.
Right.
Because they're open to the risk and they're not scared to lose.
Huh?
Yeah.
We got some more.
All right. We got here. That's J. Rue. What are good ways to avoid bull/bear traps? Also, aside from basic MAs, RSI, MACD, what other indicators are y'all using?
I mean, Raul can definitely agree with me. Price action is
It's
king. If you are only depending on all those indicators and oscillators and that kind of stuff, you're pretty much not understanding what actually moves all of those, which is price action. So like, I feel like eventually it'll come to a point that like you want to actually focus on just the candlestick analysis and like the actual raw charts, because that is what actually moves all those things that you just mentioned. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Carnell Nurse says, I guess I'm going to have to drop some dollars to make these guys aware the channel stealing their content. Posted some info on this Castle Club newsfeed yesterday, FYI. Someone's using our content.
YG Gotti? All right, I'll look into it later.
Yeah.
Mindful Ronan goes, shots FNF, continue doing God's work. PS, don't let Q get away with being too humble. Man's took profit on a trade worth more than the cost of the average single family home in less than 24 hours. God, forever in profit. Shout out to you, bro.
There you go.
man.
FIP.
Derek the Trader, do you guys have a daily loss limit and or weekly loss limit where you stop trading to mitigate risk on your trading account?
Oh, me
100%.
definitely.
Good questions.
3 losses.
Yeah.
3 losses, and I'm done. I'm
Okay.
taking a break.
Yeah,
Okay.
For me, it's
Okay.
less than that
Does it like lock your account down and shit?
Two
Like,
losses. I'm
Okay.
most on a single day. I'm taking 2 losses.
Mhm.
That's it. I'm
Max.
moving on. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, because like if you keep on going, like if you're off rhythm, I feel like you'll stay off rhythm for the rest of the week type shit. So I feel like just even like locking it off, like yo, 3 losses. You know what? Let me chill the fuck out because this is gonna get a lot worse. You know what I'm saying? So
So for the
should
mental,
be-
just
Yeah.
cut it.
And that
for the
those are
mental to
all
stop
things
it.
you want to include in your trading plan as well.
Yeah,
You know,
Okay.
3 losses. Done.
again, it comes to rules and discipline.
Correct. And stick with it.
Tall Entrepreneur says, for carry trading, can you explain your approach to selecting currency pairs for carry trades? And how do you manage the interest rate differentials and rollover costs?
I don't know what carry trading is. Never heard of it.
I think you tried saying like currency trading, but I don't even trade currencies anymore.
Oh.
I haven't traded currencies in like 2 years.
Okay. Dash J. Rue says, when it comes to scalping, do y'all scalp after reversals on smaller time frames or only on bigger time frame trends?
So in my personal opinion, like when you're trading with the trend alone, you're already gonna have an edge in the market versus
Correct.
somebody who's always trying to call like a top or a bottom. A lot of the times you're just gonna be taken out of your position anyway. So if you could trade along with the trend where the order flow is in the markets, you're already gonna have an edge
Yes,
in the
way
market.
easier.
Why not exploit that edge? you
Okay.
know?
Correct. Same.
And then last few here.